This is the word I come from. This is the Reverend Al Sharpton. He's speaking at the funeral of AJ, who was in Ocala, who got shot by one of her neighbors. She had left 4 kids. So he comes from the word on this one. And this is the word I listen to. I don't just listen to anybody on YouTube spitting scriptures that somebody itchy ears want to hear. I want to hear the truth. Okay, see if we get them up here.
And it is the strength that I believe, Bishop, that God gave him, which is why he's blessed with this congregation. I don't know if I would open my doors for Al Sharpton if I was Tim, but he did. And I want him to know that we appreciate him and his congregation. I'm also grateful to Reverend A.R. Bernard, who pastors one of the largest ministries in this country, who came down from New York, said, I want to be here with you. And he is here. Also, Reverend the Best Tune, our field director, Reverend Stephen Marshall, Reverend Steffi Bott, they're all traveling with me from NAN. And I want to thank Sabrina Fulton, the mother of Trayvon Martin. And certainly I want to give special thanks to my brother, my little brother, who has risen every occasion to stand for what's right. I call him the Attorney General of Black America, Attorney Ben Crump. I want you to turn to the book of Deuteronomy, 22nd chapter, 6th and 7th verse, and it reads, if a bird's nest happens to be before you along the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, with the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young. You shall surely let the mother go and take the young for yourself, that it may be well with you and that you may prolong your days. Many years ago, I got the call about a case in Florida of a young man killed in boot camp called Martin Lee Anderson. From a young lawyer I did not know, named Ben Crump. And ever since then, many years now, every time he called me, I came because he never misled me. Many people do things to enrich themselves.
Come on.
Many to get publicity. And as stated here, and I appreciate everybody saying that because we all have different callings. God calls us all to do different things at the same time. You read the Bible, God didn't tell everybody to do the same thing. God gives you different gifts and different talent. You heard the choir. Some sing soprano, some sing alto, some sing tenor, some baritone, some just move their lips, can't sing at all. But it all takes a choir. And my calling was social justice.
Yes.
Some callings are other part. All of us operate off our belief in God. So I heard my friend and brother introduce me, who heads our Tallahassee chapter, Reverend R.B. Holmes, talk about the cameras. And He's right. We didn't come for the cameras, but if me coming helps you get here, I want you cameras to show up. I'll apologize for that. Because the world needs to know that we shouldn't be at a funeral this morning. They want to bury what happened to AJ. We're not going to let you bury it. We're not going to be quiet about it. And we're not going to apologize for standing up for it. We are not going away quietly. What happened here is wrong, and we come to stand with this family to call wrong wrong.
Gonna get into some things.
These strong women, young activists that have stood with Pam and these children, they're not the problem. They are trying to expose the problem.
Amen.
And people that will say, well, that is not my way. I believe we ought to do something more quiet and settled. Well, if you scared, say you scared.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
And then sit down and shut up and let some of us that ain't scared say what needs to be said. But don't distort what we sing. Lady asked me this morning, I work out early in the morning. Said to me, is there going to be violence? I said, is there going to be violence? Shooting somebody through a locked door is violent.
Shoot up somebody's emotions while you
young folks
hiding out somewhere.
And stood up. They have not been violent. The violence is what happened to AJ. Don't act like we're violent. We're here because of violence. Well, are they angry? Yes, we're angry, but we're not mad. We discipline our anger to get justice and fairness. And we can't fight hate and violence by operating with hate and violence. Because that only helps those that want to act like AJ was like that. We go out here and do something violent, they'll say, see, that's what she was afraid of. We got more sense than that.
That's right. Ain't no hate, it's just telling the truth.
Don't act like we should not be concerned. Don't act like there's something that is incongruous to me about how y'all can talk about everything, but I haven't heard the state officials talk about a woman shooting through a door and a mother standing up for her children. I mean, I'm confused. When you have state officials that can stand up for some that are indicted for espionage, but can't stand up for a mother that's just standing up for her 4 children. I heard it said that Florida is where woke dies. Well, what is the opposite of woke? The opposite of woke is to be sleep.
Come on.
And we're not going to sleep no more.
Huh.
Maybe we took a nap and let you get where you got, but we awoke now, and you will not ever get away with this.
Huh.
Now, Bishop Richardson didn't say this, Tim didn't say this, Sharpton. Blame it all on me. But I want us to be clear that there is no way we can live in a country that people that are not under threat can take the lives of unarmed people and it not be a threat to all of us. Reporter asked me, Reverend, why did you come? I said, very simple. And I want to be clear. I did not come for any other reason. And when I talked to Pam about her daughter, and she told me about Isaac and Israel and Africa and Titus. Many of y'all see me on TV but don't know I was raised by a single mother. Father 11, I was 10. I grew up on welfare and food stamps. Only thing between me and jail was my mother.
Huh.
Most of my friends went to jail doing wrong. My mother made me go to church. The only thing that protected me from the gangs was my mother. And when I heard their story, I thought about my story. That's why I read this from Deuteronomy, because too often in our communities, particularly in the black community, all we can depend on is our mothers. I'm not down on fathers. Sometimes the social order forces certain situations, but mama's there when nobody's there. And that's why when this woman degraded them and they ran and got their mother, the mother stood in the way. Don't you feel guilty about nothing. Your mama chose to stand in danger's way for you.
Huh.
She chose you over her.
Huh. Huh.
That's what mothers do. That's why we celebrate your mother. The God she served, the Jesus she served, will give her rest. She was a good mother. Isaac, Israel, Africa, Titus. Don't grow up feeling guilty. Don't say mama wouldn't have died if it wasn't for me. No, mama chose to stand up for you. Because mama knew if she allowed people to degrade you and she not stand up for you, that you grow up with a feeling that you were something that could be degraded. She rather showed that you were somebody than to risk the danger of her being silent. And the one thing I want y'all to do for us is I want you to go and be everything she wanted you to be.
Huh.
I told Isaac, I want you to go on to college and want your brothers and sisters to go on and be something. And if you don't have the money, call me. Say, you showed up at my mama's funeral. I need to go to college.
Huh. That's what's up.
Because just like I showed up here today for you, I want to sit at your graduation. And I want you to put your fists up and say, I'm AJ's boy. What they meant for bad, God will make good.
That's right.
Then they said, I hope y'all won't bring race in. When this woman called them the N-word, when she said, this ain't no underground railroad slaves, she brought race in. Don't act like National Action Network, NAACP, Rashopton brought in race. She brought in race. You can't take back what she said. In fact, she didn't take it back. She admitted she said it. And why don't you admit if it was the other way around and a black woman had shot through a door at a white kid, you would have arrested her that night.
Period. Period. Period.
Bam. Friday, I was in Mississippi for the 60th anniversary of the killing of Medgar Evers. I went to the house that Medgar Evers lived in. He was doing a voter registration drive. And he drove home that night. Got out his car in his driveway. Took my daughter with me and stood in that driveway. Man blew his brains out to give us the right to vote. I sat with his wife, who's 90 years old now, Merle Evers. We're getting ready to have a march on Washington, August 26th, the anniversary of Dr. King's march, his son and daughter-in-law and I. And I thought about how many people suffered, paid a price, died to bring us this far. And it wasn't only blacks, it was whites that marched.
You're going to tell the story.
Schwerner died. Viola Luisa died. And when I looked down here in Florida the other day, getting the newsreels of what was going on around AJ, don't get confused. I saw young white kids with black kids marching. Right here.
That's right.
Those young activists that made this issue an issue were of all communities, because right is right and wrong is wrong, and we got to stand together against wrong. We must not ever forget that God uses us to operate in the time in which we live. And sometimes, Dr. Stockton, Bishop Stockton, we want to pick the part of the scriptures that we like.
Come on. Let's talk about that.
We like the results without what makes the results. We want the omelet without the egg.
Talk about it.
But you got to go by the whole thing. You know, Richardson, I go to some churches, preachers say to me, Brother Mal, we're honored to have you, but stay away from, civil rights and politics. Just stay in the Word. And I said, okay, well, maybe you got a different Bible than I got. So give me your edition of the Bible. Because my Bible, the second book, was about the exodus of slaves from slavery.
You hear that, Tasty?
Politics, well, my Bible had David made king. That's political. Solomon king. That's political. Esther went against the genocide of a whole people. If you take all that out the Bible, you ain't got much left. You want to shout, but you don't want to work. I grew up Church of God in Christ. People talk about one day I'm going home to get my rest. Rest from what? You ain't done no work to get no rest from.
Come on.
Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world. You ain't done nothing about the troubles of the world. I was not born at a time that they walked to the Red Sea. I wasn't born at a time they went to the Jordan. I wasn't there when Goliath mocked the Israeli army. But I was there when they shot Trayvon. I was there when they choked Eric Garner. I was around when they put their knee on George Floyd's neck. And I was around when you shot through the door at AJ, and the same God that was at the Red Sea, the same God that was at the Jordan, the same God is coming to Ocala, Florida.
I'm going to stop it right there. Y'all go listen. It's a full sermon. I couldn't put it all on here, but Al Sharpton got it in. He got it in. And this is the funeral service for the mother of 4 shot and killed in Ocala. All right. I don't know if that's North Carolina or South Carolina, somewhere in Ocala. All right. Y'all have a blessed day, and please listen up. Don't listen to anything, anybody like the devil know the word. Listen to the word or read the word for yourself to find out what it is, because there was things that went on that still goes on today, period.